It's hard to believe that it's been over 6 months since HBO Max rebranded as just Max. But now that you can watch The Last of Us in the same app as Dr. Pimple Popper, is this streaming service more of a Max or just a minimum? In this video review, I'll explore everything you need to know about Max, including their pricing and plans, shows and movies available, the recent inclusion of live sports and news, and the Max app before I'll give my final verdict. Of course, I'll have chapter times if you want to skip ahead to anything. But first, let's start with the basics. What do you need to know about Max? When HBO Max was first launched in 2020, it was seen as an extension of the HBO brand and the successor to their previous streaming service, HBO Now. Fast forward to spring of 2022, however, and something big happened. Warner Media merged with Discovery Incorporated, the company behind various cable channels like TLC and Food Network. Discovery CEO David Zaslav took over the consolidated company, and with that came a promise that a merger of sorts would happen between HBO Max and Discovery Plus. And that merger is what materialized into the streaming service we have today. Although the company ultimately decided to keep Discovery Plus as its own separate streaming service, for now at least, subscribers on Max now have access to a range of shows that once required a separate Discovery Plus subscription. But under CEO David Zaslav's direction, there have been a series of controversial decisions, namely the removal and cancellation of various shows and movies, sometimes in order to get tax write-offs. Not to mention the removal of HBO from the name, which a number of HBO fans weren't happy about. Now with that context out of the way, let's look at the current plans and pricing for Max. They have 3 plans right now. Their lowest price plan, which is the one I'm currently subscribed to, costs either $9.99 a month or $99.99 a year. Movies and shows on this plan include advertising breaks both before and during whatever you're watching. And let's talk about those ads for a minute. Personally, I found this to be a less intrusive ad experience than other ad-supported streaming services I've tried like Hulu or Paramount Plus. Commercial breaks usually have just 2 ads at a time, and usually those ads are 15 seconds or less. It's tolerable. But in the past several months, more ads have slowly crept in. Whereas previously, when you watched an HBO show, it would only include ads before the show started. Now it includes ad interruptions during the program as well. Likewise, movies only used to have ads before the movie started, but now they have ad interruptions during the movie too. And there's other types of ads that have been popping up, like ones that display on your screen whenever you pause your video. Now, if you do want to get rid of these ads, that will cost you either $15.99 a month or $149.99 per year. This plan also allows for offline downloads. And finally, if you want to get rid of ads and get the ability to watch shows in 4K definition, you'll pay either $19.99 a month or $199 a year for the ultimate ad-free plan. This plan will allow even more offline downloads, the ability to stream from 4 devices at a time instead of 2, and you'll get Dolby Atmos sound. Right now, all of these plans include their new sports add-on, which they call Bleacher Report Sports. But starting in March of next year, this will cost extra. More on that later. Now, if you're looking to get a free trial of Max, unfortunately, there is no way to do that, at least at the time I'm recording this video. However, if you go to the homepage at max.com, and scroll to the very bottom until you see the link that says free episodes. This will take you to a page where you can watch the first episode of several series without signing up for Max. It's also worth mentioning that you have the option to get Max as an add-on with Prime Video channels, which now lets you watch all of Max, not just the HBO shows, through the Prime Video app. But let's get on to the movies and shows that are included with your Max subscription. I will reiterate that all of the plans, at least at the time I'm recording, allow you full access to their entire content library. This contrasts with both Paramount Plus and Netflix that now require you to get a more expensive plan to watch everything on their service. So first up, we have Yes, HBO. It might not be in the name of the streaming service itself anymore, but it is very much still a central part of Max. In fact, it gets its own heading right next to movies and shows at the top of the screen. Whether it's Euphoria or The Sopranos, The Gilded Age or House of the Dragon, it's all here for the most part. You might notice there are some fan favorite shows like Westworld, The Nevers, and Raised by Wolves that are missing. Not only were these shows canceled, but they're now licensed exclusively to Tubi and the Roku channel. so you can't watch them on Max anymore, unfortunately. It's still hard to deny that Max is the best place to watch HBO shows, even if it does feel like they're skimming a little bit off the top. Next up, let's talk about the Max originals. When HBO Max first launched, Warner Media said they wanted to focus on gaining female viewers with their streaming shows. And that starts to make sense when you look at the Max originals that they greenlit. A number of these shows represent edgy, elevated storytelling that appeals to a female audience. There's shows like the Emmy Award-winning Hacks, which I highly recommend, Julia, a biographical series about Julia Child, and of course the sequel series to Sex and the City, which is called And Just Like That. As for the shows that were added from Discovery's networks, all of the popular shows you'd expect to see on Discovery Plus, like 90 Day Fiancé or Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives, you can now stream on Max. Another big hub you'll see on Max is for DC Comics. Just like Disney Plus is the home for Marvel, Max is the home for DC superheroes like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Besides that, there's a number of sitcoms like Friends, The Big Bang Theory, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Middle, and South Park that you can watch on Max. But besides South Park, anything animated, especially if it's geared towards children, seems to have been sidelined on Max in recent months. Scrolling through the selection on the Cartoon Network hub, it now looks pretty slim. You won't find any of their older cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory or Johnny Bravo anymore. They've lost access to Crunchyroll, so this isn't really the streaming service for anime that it once was, although they do still have the Studio Ghibli films. Besides that, their adult animation is now mostly limited to DC Comics. And while HBO still has the broadcast rights to Sesame Street, they have removed hundreds of Sesame Street episodes. They also canceled some spin-off series like a talk show featuring Elmo. But on to movies with Max. Warner Brothers is sitting on an excellent collection of films dating back to the early days of Hollywood. You'll find big franchises like The Conjuring, The Matrix, and The Lord of the Rings, but you'll also find classics like Casablanca, Singin' in the Rain, and The Wizard of Oz. Most theatrical releases from Warner Brothers eventually find their way to Max, like Barbie, which they promise is coming soon. Like a lot of other streaming services, the selection of movies tends to rotate in and out on Max, but it does have a very good selection of some excellent movies, especially if you enjoy older films, which you can find under the TCM hub. Now let's get on to one of the recent additions to Max, and that is live sports. They've opted to use the name Bleacher Report, which shares the name of the sports outlet and website that shares the same parent company as Max. Bleacher Report is considered an add-on, although right now it's included for free for every Max subscriber through the end of February 2024. Starting in March, it will cost an extra $9.99 per month. On Bleacher Report, you'll find games that normally air on the cable channels TNT, TBS, and True TV. These include NBA games, MLB, NHL, US soccer, and college basketball. Notice they start charging just in time for March Madness. To watch the games with Bleacher Report, you must tune in live. There unfortunately is no way to watch replays or record the games, which I do find to be a pretty limiting feature. They also don't offer multi-view like you can get with YouTube TV, and just like they would on cable, they have ad breaks. Now there is some sports commentary and documentaries included as a part of Bleacher Report, but frankly I do find the selection to be fairly limited as well. It's important to note that this is still in its early stages, and the company has specified that they will add additional features as time goes on. Now let's talk about live news on Max, which comes from one of the various different brands that Warner Brothers Discovery now owns, that being CNN. They're dubbing the news section on Max as CNN Max. Now, you may remember that CNN tried to launch their own streaming service last year, which they called CNN Plus. CNN Max includes something that oddly enough was not on CNN Plus, and that is a 24/7 live feed of news. The CNN live feed that you'll find on Max is mostly similar to what's on CNN, the cable channel, but it does occasionally differ in its programming. Now, unlike with live sports, they haven't indicated that they plan to charge extra for CNN Max at any point in the near future. It's free for all subscribers, although they do clarify that it is a beta feature for now. But let's get on to the Max app. When HBO Max rebranded, they launched an entirely new app. The app is designed to navigate much faster than the previous one, and I will say most of the glitches that occurred with the HBO Max app have largely been corrected. It's also built from the ground up for recommendations, the way Netflix recommends shows and movies to you through its algorithm. I've noticed when I watch certain shows and movies, it begins to change the recommendations on the home screen when I launch Max. But it also continuously recommends shows I don't really care to watch. It seems like the recommendation algorithm still isn't quite as finely tuned as Netflix. As for the features of the app, you can download Max on a wide range of devices, including smart TVs, streaming players, tablets, phones, and game consoles. And you can create up to 5 profiles per account, including kids profiles with parental controls. But now on to the final verdict. Ahead of making this video, I decided to ask the internet and see your opinions about Max now that the dust has settled after the rebrand. And let me say, people were pretty divided. A number of people commented saying that they liked the inclusion of the shows from Discovery Plus, as well as the inclusion of live sports and news. But some of the original fans of HBO expressed that they felt including HBO shows alongside reality TV cheapened the brand. Another thing they expressed was disliking the removal of certain shows like Westworld, as well as downgrading certain features. Last month, for example, they changed it so that now you must get the most expensive plan if you want to watch movies and shows in 4K. While I prepared this review, there's one word that I kept thinking of, and that is shrinkflation. Shrinkflation is when companies keep their prices the same or even increase it while offering less of their product. Yes, there are more categories of shows on Max than there used to be. Now you've got live news, you've got live sports, you've got more reality TV. But in every pre-existing category, it feels like you're getting less than you used to. Slightly less HBO shows, fewer movies, fewer animated series, slightly less features on some of their plans, and slightly more ads on their cheapest plan. There's a level of squeeze that's happening at Warner Bros. Discovery as they try to make Max into something profitable. And as a customer, I can feel it. But it's hard to deny that what remains here is impressive. Warner Bros., HBO, Discovery, Turner Classic Movies. These are all brands that represent some of the most watched and most respected TV shows and movies in the entertainment industry. Max remains one of the best streaming services for people who love television and film. Plus, the addition of live sports and live news gives you a more well-rounded experience that perhaps could even give you incentive to cut back on more expensive streaming services like YouTube TV. Despite some changes, Max is still the best place to get HBO. It's still one of the best streaming services to watch movies, and I think it offers a tremendous value to its customers. But what do you think? Are you subscribed to Max? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay up to date with all things streaming. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.